CDM Cesspool Services, fast, reliable, affordable. Some jobs stick with you forever, not because they were incredibly difficult, but because they instantly reignite your passion for why you chose this career path. This particular day began just like any other on a noticeably cold early morning, when the service call finally came through on the radio. A very kind woman had phoned in, explaining with a slight sense of desperation that her kitchen sink had been completely backed up for what felt like an eternity. When I finally pulled up and walked inside, the house itself felt immediately small, incredibly quiet, and you could tell it had seen better days. She came to the door with the most tired yet genuine smile you could imagine, and I could instantly sense the personal challenges she had been facing recently. As I began unpacking my tools and getting set up near the troublesome area, she quietly started to explain the situation in more detail. She mentioned that her wonderful husband had always been the one to handle every single one of those pesky little home repairs before he sadly passed away last year. Hearing those few sentences really hit me hard in that moment, as I could clearly feel the immense emotional weight carried within her carefully chosen words. It became immediately clear that she wasn't just calling about a simple plumbing blockage. She was calling because, right then, she didn't know where else to turn for trustworthy help. I immediately got to work on diagnosing the problem, but what initially looked like a straightforward clog was rapidly proving to be something far more complicated underneath. After some careful probing, it turned out to be a completely collapsed section of the main drain pipe hidden deep beneath the kitchen floorboards. There was simply no way this was going to be a quick or easy fix that we could solve in 15 minutes flat, as it required serious demolition. Her expression shifted to deep worry the moment I had to explain the extensive nature of the required repair, especially when she admitted she simply couldn't manage the cost of something that big. At that point, I knew I had to do something different, so I stepped aside, called my supportive boss, and clearly laid out the entire difficult scenario for him. After a brief but crucial conversation, we both made the easy decision right then and there to complete the entire necessary repair for her completely free of charge. We ended up dedicating the majority of that entire day to the job, methodically installing a brand new section of pipe and testing everything thoroughly along the way. Finally, we reached the moment of truth when I turned the kitchen faucet back on and the water started flowing completely smoothly down the drain once again. Watching that clear water disappear, she actually began to quietly tear up right there in her kitchen, overwhelmed by the visible relief. I will absolutely never forget that powerful moment of gratitude, not just for the work completed, but for the deep human connection that was instantly made. Honestly, on my drive back home that evening, I couldn't stop thinking about how truly profound the impact of the smallest good deeds can be for someone else. It truly hammered home the realization that this profession is fundamentally never just about dealing with physical pipes and managing water pressure issues. At its core, this whole job is fundamentally and entirely about connecting with people on a deeper level, which is truly the greatest reward of all. It's about actively listening to what people aren't saying out loud, showing genuine care, and reliably showing up when someone is truly in need of immediate assistance. Ever since that singular experience transformed my perspective, I have actively tried to approach every single service call as if it might be the most important one of my entire week. You honestly never have any idea of the quiet, unseen struggles people might be navigating just behind that closed front door you are about to knock on. And Sancti element, the unknown human factor that awaits behind the entrance, is precisely what ultimately makes this particular line of work feel so incredibly meaningful and special to me. So yes, that specific service job fundamentally altered the trajectory of how I view my professional life, and I still think of her every single time I reach for my trusty wrench. Remember that not every single person who makes a real difference in the world is going to be wearing a traditional cape or fighting villains in the sky above us all. Sometimes the real heroes are the ones who simply carry a reliable drain snake and just a little bit more heart than the difficult situation demands of them. Call us today at 631-642-7000 to schedule your maintenance service.